Okay, today we're going to attempt to fix the IPS module problem, which causes intermittent no start and no crank. So to get into that, which is actually in here, there's actually a couple of workarounds you can do. The first one being, if you get intermittent no start no crank, you can pull this relay out here, push it back in again, and then hopefully the key turns and the ignition starts. If that doesn't work, you can go underneath the hood or the bonnet, go into the fuse panel next to the battery, and there's a starter relay in there. There's already a video like that, I think, on the web somewhere. But to get into this panel here, we have to first of all pull this out here like that, and then I'll need to get a screwdriver and pull this apart. But basically this panel here will pop off sideways, give us access to some screws. So that's the first thing to do. Right, so as you can see, I've got the panel off. There's basically 3 clips, and I think, well, there's obviously one that's got snapped off at some point here. But basically what will probably happen is the clips will stay in here. So there's 1, 2 and 3. So once you pull the panel off, it'll come off minus those metal clips, and then just push them through there, you know, and pick it up with your fingers on the other side, and then put them on the on the panel for later use. So once that's done, we then need to undo these screws, and I'm pretty sure from what I remember there's a screw down here as well, and there's one there. Off the top of my mind I can't remember what else there is, but I know that there was something inside here I had to disconnect when I got the panel apart. So there we go for now. Okay, as you can see now, I've got the panel off. You'll see there's these little bits here. They actually clip on. There's a little clip, so they push over that. So you've just got to get your finger behind it, pull it out, and then obviously you've got these 2 connectors here for the variable rheostat and then for the door light switch. Just disconnect these 2. You've got a couple of clips, as you can see down here, that go in here and here, but that's pretty straightforward. Shouldn't have too much trouble with that. So I'm going by memory again here. There's a guide online to see how you do this, but I've now got to use I believe it's a 10mm. So with a 10mm socket wrench, socket spanner, whatever you want to call it, take off these 3 nuts. There are actually some bolts that should be in here. I took them out the last time I had a go at this, and I haven't put them back in yet because I knew I was going to come back and do this. This part will allow you to kind of fold this down. I'm not really sure how easy it is to get into those nuts, those bolts in there, but obviously this whole plastic section, that's like the center console area, that would have to be removed to get into that properly. I suppose you can probably get a spanner in there somehow and just keep going round and round, a small increment at a time. But I didn't actually find I needed to take that out. I just basically bent this down and that was okay. So anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in to get these connectors here and the one above, and see if I can locate the 2 wires I need to bypass this IPS module. Okay. Okay, as you can see, I've now removed that plate. Now to get this part removed, you'll see this little tab here. You basically need to kind of push this up, force it up, and then pull it down. Now you can kind of pull it back, which, if you're going to remove this IPS module, that'll give you enough space to get in to get this nut here, and then further up, I don't know if you can see that in there, Yeah, there you go, those two bolts hold it in as well. I found this a complete pain in the ass to do because most of the cables that connected to it were held in with cable ties that I just couldn't get my hands into. I mean, I've not got the biggest hands in the world, but they were just, the cables and the cable ties were just too fiddly for my fingers, really. But I did actually manage to get it out, but it took a hell of a lot longer. You can see a better close-up of this relay that you can pull if you do get that problem that I was telling you about, the no start, no crank. So anyway, I'm now going to remove this connector and the connector above to see if I can isolate the wire that I need to, or the two wires that I need to jump to cure the problem. Well, I wasn't planning on taking out the IPS module, but I think I'm going to have to, because I'm supposed to jump a wire in this connector here. Now, as you can see, I've got about 1 inch of play at the top there, so there's no way in hell I could even think about trying to find a wire. This is the bottom connector. I need to think about finding a wire. There's quite a few now. I don't know if that's an orange wire, if it's a red wire. There's obviously a reddish colour wire. There's another wire in the middle there. It could be an orange wire. There's lots of blue wires. Is that red or is that orange? I'm not sure. Obviously, looking at this thing up here, all I see is a black shroud, so no idea. So I'm going to have to undo this and remove this. So, here we are. I've taken the IPS module out. Now here is the BECIF connector. Now, according to the diagram, I have a light blue wire. Now, this is the problem I have. So, we've got, in this view, we have one blue wire the same colour, another kind of blue. At the back here, I have even more blue wires. So I can see 4 blue wires there. Which one is the light blue wire? If anybody can let me know, I'll be all ears. It's right enough, it is a light blue wire. You'd never know unless you take this thing to bits, which is not the easiest thing to take to bits. That's actually the wire there. But anyway, to get the correct wire, well, assuming the information is correct once I get to that point, take the back panel off this connector, and then it's going to be this one here. So it's this blue wire. There's like an orange and a red coloured one next to it. And I suppose there's 3 yellow wires, and then just above it there's a light blue wire. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a makeshift thing. I've just got a bit of twisted wire. I'm going to poke that in there and just do it as a test first, and then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay. Well, that's the first one done. I've just put this black wire. So now I'm going to take the other end of this black wire and I'm going to put it into here. So I've got to figure out how to get this cover off again. They're a bit tricky to get off actually. Okay. Okay, I've identified the wire now on this one. So it's that thick orange one there. When you look at the diagram, it shows the connector like that. So you locate this one here. You turn it around. So you got 2 yellow wires, one has like a strip of colour on it. So it's right next to the pink one, that's the wire that's got to be jumpered there. Okay, let's see how that goes.